I'm dropped inside. Scrambling to my feet, I whip my glaive up and get ready to fight. But there's no sight of the great Alpha Grimm, nor any sense of their influence on my mind. Not a nightmare, at least. I glance behind me. The portal is clearly defined, the only source of light for miles. My cape seems to be stuck in it. I give it a tug, trying to pull it free, but instead it just stretches. That's not good. I take a few steps away from the open portal, tugging on my cape even harder. The cape moves with me, unsettling and malleable like a dream. Soon a river of red eddies around my feet. Great, so what grabbed me? As I speak, I hear a rustle behind me. Instantly, I'm on alert, heart pounding. The shadows have their own landscape, curdled mounds of black velvet, texture in the air, in reality itself. Something moves, gritting my teeth. I lunge forward with my glaive tip pointed at it. A lump, a little bundle of feathers and scales. It croaks. Remembering the strange form my uncle had taken, I hesitate. Then it croaks again, bloodshot eye focusing on me. Ruby. Her voice is weak and external. Uncomfortably, I realize she's nowhere to be found in my own head. Close your eyes, please. I don't want you to see me like this. Mostly, I'm confused, but I'm just stunned enough to follow her directions and do as she says. There's a rattle of scales, and I feel a tug on my ankle. A heavy weight crawls up me, settling on my shoulders as she perches there like an affectionate cat. Thank you. No problem. I open my eyes, awkward silence reigning. So, why are you like a baby dragon? You're super squishy, by the way. Crescent sighs. In your world, I am a god. Here, there is no shape to anything except what humans bring. Here, I'm nothing. All of us are. This place shouldn't even exist unless a human... She hums in dissent, sounding too exhausted for words. I think I understand now. Your uncle is somewhere in this labyrinth. The thought makes me dizzy. You mean that wasn't a nightmare? He's being used by her? Why? Luna took a page out of our book. She might be using him to give shape to her ideas. A touch of the corporeal, thought-given form. It could be how she was able to make that huge portal. The endless black expanse yawns before us, intimidating in its isolation. If you want to save him, this might be your only chance. Bundling my cape in my hands, my gaze follows the comforting red trail back to the portal. Well, at least we know the way out. Silence reigns, for what seems like hours. Crescent murmurs directions to me, in search of the only other living soul in this plane. For as long as I remembered, this was the entire world. Her voice echoes as she considers the space around us, somber. The darkness ripples, like one of the nightmares we just fought our way out of. But instead of horrific visions, I see something familiar. The scar, Lunafracta. Then we found the seams. And on the other side, there you were. Solid forms, solid matter, a world filled with life and death, order. Lunafracted wanted you destroyed, and everything returned, rightfully, to nothingness. And she wasn't alone. Creatures besides ourselves had taken shape from this darkness. The Grimm. Yes. I lick my lips, stopping to reach up and stroke Crescent's odd, beaky face. She flinches at the contact, then slowly relaxes against my hand. The other spirits and I wanted you to live. We joined forces with the humans, while Luna made her deal with the Grimm. That conflict split your lands into the planes. Why are you telling me this now? A beat. I suppose I'm feeling nostalgic. They call Luna a traitor, but I was the one who betrayed my own sister. While I search for something to say, the world changes once more. Abruptly, I spot a splash of color and light in the darkness. It's a giant web. Repulsed, I take a few steps back until I notice a black shape huddled in the heart of the web. Crow! I break into a sprint, arriving at the foot of the giant web. It's Crow in there for sure, twisted and alien, but definitely my uncle. I'll get you down. Just wait 1 second. Crow's eyes flutter open, blood red. Feathers cover his body from head to toe, his hands and feet gnarled like bird claws. I told you to close the portal. He barely looks human anymore. Sawing away at the webbing, I'm careful not to get myself stuck up there with him. Once he's safely on the ground, I shake him. Okay, up on your feet, Crow. No. He leans against me. This close, I can feel a long membrane connecting his elbow to his torso as a giant fleshy wing. I was the bait. Don't you get it? She wants you. Well, that's her problem, not mine. We'll walk out of here together. It'll be just me and you and... Look out! A hairy shape collides with me, knocking me over on my back. I swipe on instinct, cutting through a slavering Beowulf. 3 more piles on me, knocking me from side to side. My semblance is little more than a puff of air, and all I can count on is the waning strength of my own muscles. Get off of me! Crow's passed out on the floor. Breathing hard, I stand over him with my guard up, snarling at anything that gets too close. He's mine! Beat it! No. Crescent tightens around my neck, her voice low and fearful. He's hers. She turns my head to the ruined web where Crow had been hanging moments before. Perched on top is something awful, something rank and slimy and segmented, glittering white bone and red skin. Lunafracta pounces. A dozen claws scratch my side, tearing straight through the fabric and scraping against cold steel armor. Crap! Stabbing with Little Thorn, I wrench her off of me and fling her away. My nose wrinkles as a noxious cloud rolls over Crow and I, but I don't retreat. I stay over him, braced for impact when Luna charges me again. Ugh, she reeks! She's vicious as a wild beast. Each claw tip sinks straight through the metal, piercing my skin. Ah! Screaming in pain, I try to get her off me again. Crescent hisses, lunging down and clamping her sharp mouth around Luna's neck. The other spirit roars, slashing me again as she darts away. Thank you. I huff, wiping a hand over my wounds. They aren't deep, but they sting, and I try not to think about what might be coating Luna's slick black claws. My eyes fix on Lunafracta. She's circling out of reach, angling for a weak spot. When she leaps again, I scream in fear and rage, and I bat her aside like a small animal, sending her tumbling head over heels. You won't get me again that easy. I'm shaken, but not broken, and I'm going to tear you apart! To my surprise, Luna actually flinches away at the ferocity in my words. All her eyes regard me warily, boiling over with hatred. And a good dose of fear. Nervous? Crescent, what can she do? What do I need to look out for? I reach behind me, finding Crescent limp and exhausted and quiet for once. Crescent, are you okay? Got any advice? I told you I'm nothing here, Ruby. Okay, but... Her voice sounds like it's carried by a far-off wind. You don't understand. I'm nothing. I'm not anything. One black claw reaches out, pointing to Luna. And neither is she. Emboldened, I advance on Luna, clarity settling over me. When the spirit strikes out again, I block it easily. And then I leap on her, catching her under my boot. That's it, Ruby. Kill her! I stare down at the evil small creature underneath me. Disbelief makes me hesitant, all of my suffering to this moment hitting me at once. Is that it? Is that all the fight you have in you, when it's just you and me? No Grim? No portals? No magic? Luna breaks free. Lightning fast, I strike with my glaive, angling through the carapace and piercing her to the floor. She squeals, wriggling until I keep her still with my boot again. Maybe you shouldn't have sent so many Grim, huh? Maybe you're all out of fuel. I press down viciously, twisting her into the ground. Is this what it feels like for you on the other side of the portal? When you spirits take over our bodies and twist us around and ruin our lives? Well, over here, I'm the strong one. I'm the god. And you're nothing. The spirit squeals like a living thing, spines rattling until I put more pressure on her. You shouldn't have hurt so many people. You should have left us alone. Her free legs scrabble to get away, but she's so weak, I don't even have to try to hold her down. But the tight anger in my chest fails to unwind. How many people are dead because of you? How many have suffered? Her sharp claws cut at me, but I grit my teeth through the pain. It's all skin deep, the flailing of a dying animal. Even if you knew, you wouldn't care, huh? We're nothing but pests to you, and you wanted us, our home, gone just because it wasn't all this? I gesture at the dark around us, frustration tightening my throat. It's all the same. I've seen this before. The same lack of consideration. Humans abusing faunus. People creating chimera to attack their own countrymen. Higher castes lording over the lower ones in Mishklas. Ren's mother locking herself up to keep herself safe from assassins. It's all so... It's so stupid! Luna Fracta keeps wriggling underneath me. She's raw and ugly, all the evil laid bare, banal and senseless. It's all exactly the same. I feel like I'm about to be sick. Alright. So we can either choose to let Luna Fracta go, or to kill her. Do we continue the cycle of hatred and kill her? Or do we break the cycle and let her go? Can she return to being sisters with Crescent? Can this moment be salvaged? This might be the last decision we make in this game, or at least the last major decision. This is a gamble, but I think it's important that Ruby in the game showed us those images of hypocrisy and hate in Vale, in Mishklas, in Spiritus Bellodorum, and even Hoping. All this hatred around us, it's just a cycle. The most risky decision I'm about to make. But maybe, just maybe, this is the right one. Exhaustion hits me harder than any blow to the chest. And I lift my boot off of her, yanking my bloody glaive from her body. What are you doing? Go. Lunafractus stays where she is, staring at me. Leave! Every segmented limb rattles once as Lunafractus scuttles into the dark. The spirit stops a fair distance away, hazy yet still very real. A massive eyes stare at me, uncomprehending and unfeeling. Then she slinks into the darkness. Immediately, Crescent Rose blows me down with the force of her rage. Have you lost your mind, Ruby? For an instant we're connected again, her soul entwined with mine. I cover my ears, though that does nothing to silence her. She will recover and take revenge. You said she needed Crow to be as strong as she is now. Without a human host, spirits are weak. We'll close the portals behind us after we've got him back to our home, and we'll leave her alone. I feel something like a shake of her head at the back of my mind. She'll find another human eventually. We'll tell those who come after us, so if she does come, they'll be ready. Slowly, she fades away, and again we're separated. It will not be an if, but a when. I'm sorry, I couldn't do it. She's alien and monstrous, but she's a spirit like you. And you've changed since I've met you. Maybe teaching Luna mercy is enough for her to change too. She has no response to that, so I focus on Crow instead. Hold on to me. I guide Crow to the portal, following the red thread of my cape back. It's slow going, though we have to stop several times to rest. I notice him staring at Little Thorn hungrily, but with wary confusion. It's your glaive, Uncle. Do you want it back? You can use it as a crutch. Here, hold it like this. I fold his hands over the haft. As his clawed grip firms, his hands shift, and I can recognize them again, damaged but shaped as they should be. Like his body's remembering to be human again. When we reach the portal, I can see the white light is dimming and start to hurry. It's narrow. She sounds a little worried, and her tail flicks against my cheek. Then you first, Crow. I'll be right behind you. Crow shuffles closer, then turns to look at me. His brow furrows, and he stops. Gently, I urge him on. You've helped me so much, Uncle Crow. It's my turn to help you. Coiling the cape in my arms, I remember what I was told the first time I saw someone go through the portals. 1 tug for fine, 2 for more time, 3 for something has gone wrong. I don't know if there's anyone waiting for me on the other side, but I tug my cape once with determination. The world bends to my will a bit, and instead of stretching, my cape goes taut. I hope that worked. Crow takes the last step through the portal. The light bathes him, his profile clear of feathers and grim taint. His eyes widen in shock, before his whole body relaxes, limp with relief. Crow dissolves into nothing, vanishing in a flash of white light. And the portal vanishes with him. What? The end of my cape, cut, drifts down to the ground. Oh no. I fall to my knees, gathering up the fabric that I might be able to stick it back through the darkness again, like a key with a lock. Oh no, no, no. What happened, Ruby? How should I know? Except I do know. Clapping my hands over my mouth to keep from gasping, I sit there and tremble. The portal. It was like a major portal. Crow was Lunafractus' conduit for making it. Without him here to maintain it. Oh, I'm so stupid! With him gone, there's not enough of her power remaining to hold the portal open. I fall backwards, sitting hard on the ground. So, I'm stuck here. I can't go home. Again, the world ripples around me, but there's no awakening from this nightmare. I'm alone, well, and truly alone, and no one is coming to save me. Even at the very end, Ruby chose to put her own family, her uncle, before the safety of her own. And this is where she is. The darkness and silence is unlike anything I've ever experienced before. No air, no stone, no ground. No thing, nothing. Nothing except me. I'm sorry, Ruby. Just me and my spirit. I reach up to touch the scaled thing perched on my shoulder, and I'm surprised to feel her smaller than before. I'm so sorry. Over here, I told you I wanted your world because it would give me power, and here I'm... Shh, it's okay. Just save your energy. A little alarmed, I resist the urge to pull her into my arms. As the only other person, I find myself desperately wanting to console her and needing comfort in return. Instead, I hold myself, teeth chattering. We'll find a way out of here. You did it before, right? With my ancestor? Yes. Then her voice gets very soft. You're so much like her. So brave and kind, and everything good about humans. You make me remember why I fought Luna. You make me remember why I wanted to protect your world. Well, personally, I'm glad you chose us. A sad chuckle echoes in my head, and I realize she's growing fainter. Am I losing her? Is she fading back into the dark she came from? I don't want her to leave. The realization is sharp and painful. I don't want her to leave me. She sounds exhausted. Maybe this is what I deserve. Perhaps if I'd stayed with Luna and tried to change her mind, it would not have come to this. If I hadn't gone to war, if I had just tried, you couldn't have known, and I'm sure you did try. I stand up, stroking her head again. I start walking, picking a direction at random. I don't know what I can do, but I know I can't do nothing. Crescent keeps talking. Yet even with all these regrets, I loved your ancestor, and I loved you too. Another decision. I love you too, Crescent. I know, or no you didn't. We have known Crescent for a very long time now in this game. And if we know anything about her, it's that she has changed. She loved us. She loved us from the very beginning, albeit in a very strict and almost unfeeling way. But as she had gotten used to our ancestor, the first of our line, she has also grown closer to us. Each and every one of us she has come to love. And of course, we love her back. I love you too, Crescent. I loved you before you were even born, in a way humans can't ever understand. I do. I think I do. Because I love you too, weirdly enough. You're a pain in my ass, but maybe if we had started different. Maybe if we had more time. But we don't have any more time. She's fading fast. Her voice is barely a whisper, but she goes on. Her last words to me. When did I get so lost? When did I forget what we were trying to do? Together we made your world a home, our home. And Maybe there's one last thing I can do for you. You don't have to forgive me, but I'm sorry, Ruby. I loved you. I needed you. But you don't need me. Silence. I pat my shoulder, feeling lighter than I ever have in my life. A padlock around my heart drops, something shattered into a dozen pieces. I can breathe. And I am completely alone. Alone and with no way to return, I finally break into tears. My knees give way, everything in me finally collapsing under the weight of it all. I thought I might die in all this. I knew the risks of war. But the thought of wasting away here, away from everyone else, it's too much. I just want to go back. I just want to be home. And with another shattering of something deep inside me, I feel warmth against my chest. I rub my eyes, looking down to see a light glowing through my clothes. It's the good luck charm I got from the Xiaolongs. It shines bright when I pull it from under my shirt, spinning slowly on its cord. It's the only other real thing here. Everything else is spirit and dreams and grim. Maybe someone else will find it down the line. There's a tug on the string. I stare uncomprehending as it rises, pulling, pointing me. I can only follow, turning as the charm shifts. It guides me further into the labyrinth, a slowly swinging spark of light. I think of home, the people who love me, the battles I've faced. The people who love me. My thoughts full of my friends, my family, everyone I love, everyone who loves me. They fill me with strength, blazing with their love. I feel like a glowing thing myself and start to run. And so I nearly fall face first into what looks like a pool of cool white light. I stumble in, ankle deep. It shifts before my eyes, stretching up high into the darkness, as well as down deep. I step forward, and it shifts, grows dim in some places, and shines brighter in others. It's like some kind of optical illusion, or a glittering vein of crystal, changing in shape whenever I move, impossible to fully understand in one glance. Is this what Crescent found? I cradle the charm in my hand. Is it you in there, Crescent? Did you lead me here? Is this one of the realm's seams? The charm's light is near blinding now, and I realize it shines with the same light as the seam. There's the familiar pool of a portal, but I don't see one anywhere. How do I make it open on my own? Desperate, I wrap the charm around my hand and swing my bare fists the way Yang taught me. But it's only when I take a step forward that a crack appears at my feet. Falling to the ground, I beat my fists against the white outline there. After dozens of punches, the crack grows. It stretches longer and longer, spidering. Shards fly up, slicing my knuckles open, but I keep on. A howl rends the air and I freeze. No weapon, no semblance. Just me in the ever-moving darkness. A dozen red eyes blink, claws tapping closer as a pack of grims surround me. I redouble my efforts, panicking, wild and artless. I'm not going to make it. I'm not strong enough. I'm all alone. But I have no choice. Oh boy. As the infinitely wise words of Monty the creator of Ruby, something that has given so many of us so much joy. This is perhaps the best moment to have included this line in this game. Keep moving forward. My muscles burn, and I can feel myself flagging. But I take a deep breath and strike again. Keep moving forward. My blood arcs over the white circle, rippling in the light. Everything breaks around me. And I fall, hair blowing up around my face. The moon shines above me, cracked and shattered and familiar. I'm home. That's when I realize I am falling from very high up. In a panic, I pull up as much of my semblance as I can. I'm not as strong as before. I only just managed to stagger my fall when I hit water. It surges up over me and I flounder, my body lanced with pain. Eventually, I figure which way is up and surface. For a few moments, I just cough and wheeze, trying to catch my breath. My lungs burn and my nose burns and my eyes sting, but I don't care. I'm alive? I swim closer to shore, a helpless laugh escaping me. I'm alive! I'm alive! It's the oasis near the Shaolong camp, and I'm home. I scream for the sheer joy of it, a ragged scream of victory. I can't think of anything else to do, howling at the moon like I'm a half-wild creature, laughing and splashing the water. I'm about to head for shore when a voice calls out. Ruby? Ruby! I turn in time to see my Penny landing in the water, reaching towards me as she half runs, half wades over, and crushes me in a hug. Finally, we found you. Finally? What do you mean? She pulls back. I can see dark circles under her eyes. You've been gone for months. Crow came through and then the portal shut, and we didn't have any way to get to you, but Crescent rose. She showed me a dream, showed me you. Crescent did? I reach to the space where she usually is, but I can't sense her at all. I'm met with a black space in my mind, in my soul. Penny takes hold of my face, lifting it so she can inspect me. How did you get back? My charm showed me a way home. I hold it up for her to see. It catches the light, then flares, and a voice comes from it. You're quite welcome, Ruby. I scream in shock, dropping the charm right into the water. Oops. Might want to grab that. She's alive too? I search through the water, desperately sifting through sand for my charm. When I find it, it crumbles to pieces. Crescent? Crescent? Relax, child. What's left of the pendant glows in time with her words. Relax? You just broke. You're... I can sense her now, vaguely, separate from me, and... You're broken. You're shattered, like Myrtenaster and Magenhild. My voice drops in awe. You did that for me. Yes. A blood sacrifice. I'm sure you're familiar with the concept. But why? Why did you... Because I was acting no differently than my sister, binding myself to humans to gain power. I'll not use your bloodline any longer. She says it matter-of-factly. It's as casual as if she were offering to buy me lunch. But then what will you do? I stammer, rubbing my thumb over the broken charm. An excellent question. Without anything to bind to, and broken so, I'll become pure power. No consciousness, no shape, but not darkness like before. I'll join to the portals, keep them open and filled with light. You are free, Ruby. You don't need me, not anymore. Let Crescent Rose fade into the ley lines, or take her back. Yeah. I keep on thinking that this game is going to just not give us any more decisions, but here we are at the very, very end, still with these strong, difficult decisions. But you know, I think this is easy at the end of the day, just as how we let Lunafracta go, and we did not want to kill her. The primal, selfish reaction. I think we should let her go. And maybe restart the world once more. So we will let Crescent Rose fade into the ley lines. Thank you, Crescent. Such simple words. It isn't enough for what she's doing, but it's all I have to give. Look out for us. That was always the plan, little Rose. Even if I forgot. The crushed pendant in my hand stirs, like sand in the wind. Light emerges from it, glowing beastly red and molten gold, lined with black as pure and sweet as velvet. It caresses my face like a hand, like a loving, living thing. Closing my eyes, I accept it with mixed emotions. You made me remember. I'll remember you, always. Sweet girl. Her voice shifts, just a little arrogant and cocksure. You sweet, simple soul. Another reference to one of Ruby's songs. Victory lies in a simple soul. And then Crescent fades away like a laugh, like an almost smile. I'm left lost, unmoored with the sudden freedom presented to me. Of course she'd make that sound like a backhanded compliment. I laugh, rolling my eyes. Then I'm hiccuping. Then I'm crying, hunched over and gasping for breath. Every emotion possible racks me from the inside out, leaving me wrung up and dry. Penny holds me through it all, rubbing my back and letting me weep. I should run away. Messily, I wipe my face with the back of my hands. I should run to the ends of the earth and never come back. I'm free. I don't have to do this anymore. Without Crescent, I'm not the queen. I'm not anything at all. Before Penny can say anything, I take a huge breath and stand up straight. Just as soon as it started, it's over. Phew, I needed that. I haven't cried like that in a very long time. Strangely enough, I feel lighter now, like my head is clear. Everything feels more free. I've never known what life was like without Crescent wrapped up in my blood. I can't feel her anymore, not even as a ghost. I look up towards the sky, for a moment thinking I might still see her in a stretch of moonlight. Crescent Rose is gone. Hopefully she'll keep her word and keep the portals open. All that power, gone, just like that. It was the right choice. As for what's next, I guess that's up to me now, isn't it? What I do, where I go. It's all my decision. I get to decide. The sun peeks out over the horizon. I waver in place, Penny coming closer to hold me. It's easy to see why she might worry. I feel like I might faint. Steadying myself against Penny, I flash a quick smile. I'll be alright. Just, there's a lot to do. Ruby. Slowly, digit by digit, her hands link with mine. I did a lot of thinking while you were gone. And I came to a conclusion. She turns to me suddenly, her lips pressed tight together. I want to stay with you. Taken aback, I laugh in surprise. I know that, Penny. Yes, but She fumbles with her words, fiddling with the clear ice dust crystals, keeping her from another overheating incident. When I said that the first time, I was just a doll. I'm so much more alive now than I ever thought I could be. And I know there's so much for us to experience together. She kisses me gently, so gently. And she speaks to my mind. I love you so much. Let me stand at your side as an equal. Of course, Penny. I breathe it out almost in awe, touching her cheek gently. I was in the dark for a long while, kind of like you were. Let's make sure neither of us ever go back there, okay? Yes, absolutely. She holds me tight. The sun finishes rising before us. Now it's punishing and hot, beating down hard and familiar like a drum beat in the distance. I'm bruised, I'm sore, I'm bloodied, exhausted. I lost months of my life to the darkness. But I'm ready to return home and begin the fight anew. There are so many wrongs left to right. The people I love need me now more than ever. There's really only one choice to make. Keep moving forward. Mustering all the strength left inside me, I take one step forward. My first step out of the desert and into an uncertain future. Sir Waishni remained a loyal knight to the Summer Rose Court for the rest of her days. With the full power and authority of the throne behind her, Blake made incredible steps towards reconciliation between the humans and the Faunus. As renowned for her scientific genius as she was for her beauty, more than a few duels were fought over her, all of which she soundly ignored. Yang Xiaolong spent the rest of her days raising dragons and avoiding responsibility. She was very adept at doing both. She and Ruby adopted 20 dogs and gave royal titles to each of them. Yeah. Glinda wasn't a fan of that. Blake, Weiss, and Yang became renowned as the Queen's staunchest supporters. Between their political responsibilities, they managed to carve out the time for a life of domesticity together. They raised several children, most of them adopted, except for one blonde-eared, purple-eyed Faunus girl. Did they somehow find a way to raise a child by blood? Interesting. Jean-Arc helped rebuild his hometown of Domremy on the coast. He often expressed the desire to just retire and be a fisherman or something, but duty kept him close to the throne for many years to come. With her time split between Vale and Spiritus Bellatorum, Pura Nico spent the rest of her days in the sun, living life to the fullest. Jean and Pura circled around each other for another few years before everyone around them grew frustrated and pushed them to admit their feelings. The Queen's Guard eventually mustered up the nerve to properly court Pura, and they married in the restored temple of Octoritus in Spiritus Bellatorum. Though the conflict of their spirits made it difficult at first, Li Ren and Nora Valkyrie forced a solution. The conflict ended with their line, and a new pact was formed. Ruby Rose and Pendrake Polendina were inseparable. Though it caused endless scandal, the two of them married in the castle gardens, surrounded by their loved ones. Every year on their anniversary, they visited Edubige's grave so Penny could update her best friend on her life, her marriage, and her happiness. After Ruby's passing, she continued to do so, with a pair of roses for each grave. Penny lived her life as a guardian of the land her wife fought so hard to protect. She remained a powerful figurehead for centuries before fading into legend. The end. Oh my god, we did it. That is the end of Ruby Summer Rose Court. I can't believe it. We started this game almost 6 months ago, and here we are finally at the end. There's so many artists that I recognize from old Tumblr URLs and handles. I'm guessing this is the concept art for a lot of character designs to come. This has been an incredible experience. That was probably one of the best endings I've played in a game in a while, especially for an amateur low-budget production by a bunch of fans, not professionals, but ordinary people who banded together to create something that they loved so much. And while it is sad to know from the creators of this game themselves that a lot of people who worked on this game no longer really associate themselves with Ruby or have the same love and admiration for it as they once did in the past, this game will still stand testament to a time that once was. Here we go, back to the title screen of Ruby Summer Rose Court, and all of the legendary girls before us finally colored in. While not perfect, I do have some qualms in this game. I'm not gonna really talk about them right now. I'll probably save that for a review later if I do get to it. I'm notoriously bad for saying that I'm gonna properly review games and then I'm not going to do it, but I just have to talk about this game fully in a setting that's not at the tail end of a long-winded video game series, such as this one. But, you know, even though that this game has its issues, it is beautiful. The writing is the absolute strongest suit of this game, and each and every one of the writers did a stupendous job contributing to this great project. And yes, there were some typos, but overall, the feeling, the love, and the sincerity of it all just jumped out of the pages and into my own heart, my soul, and I loved it. This makes me so nostalgic. More than anything, I kind of want to just drop what I'm doing right now and start binge watching the first volume of Ruby and going back to those memories of me on Tumblr and meeting new artists and creators, and as as a young and immature and fledgling audience, as we are all bonding together over this great creation of Ruby. And you know, as Ruby today has become sort of a different product than when it first started out, I myself am not so excited about it as I am before. I am still holding out hope that it will change, it will continue to get better. I'm hoping, in a way, that Mechanical Rose will be canon. Although completely realistically speaking, it's probably not going to happen, but I can hope. So I will thank the creators of this game for giving that option in this game. Ruby and Penny are my favorite ship of all time. And it's so funny to see how, you know, they started off as a crack ship to me. You know, I didn't really mean for them to be together. I just kind of like shitposted about it one night on Tumblr. And then after a while, I started to think about it, how like their chemistry was like actually legitimately very strong, and it had great like reasonings and power behind it. And it eventually became this ship that I came to love and adore. And even now, with Penny gone and canon, and the show taking a very drastically different route than when it first started, I still think about them often. Alright, so final thoughts on this game. Excellent. I loved playing this game. It was a bit challenging because I'm not that great at reading things aloud. I constantly stumbled over words. And it would have definitely been easier if I had just read this to myself, if I had just played alone. And just like, you know, read these things in my thoughts. I would have read through it much faster than me reading aloud. But at the same time, I'm really glad that I did play this game aloud and recording myself, because it captured a lot of raw emotions that I feel like is somewhat important to share with others. You know, people who want to see my reaction to playing this game, or maybe they're curious to see another person playing through it if they can't play it on their own for whatever reason. So this game is free. You can download it. I'm going to be providing a link to download it in the description box below. And I cannot recommend this game enough. Whether you're a Ruby fan or not, there is something in this game for you. It is a great visual novel, and there are a lot of choices that you can make to forge your own kind of story. You know, so fans of the game will really enjoy this new AU, alternate universe idea. And for those of you who don't understand Ruby in its canonical context, this is a fun adventure of a girl learning to be more than just a girl. She's becoming a hero, a queen, a leader, a lover. It's a great coming-of-age story, and it's very fun and very relevant to a younger audience, such as myself. You know, young adults, teenagers, even. I had such a fun time playing this. So, last but not least, to everyone who worked on Ruby Summer Rose Court, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for creating this game. You guys have really poured your hearts and souls into this. And it really shows. It really shows. Even those of you who have moved on from Ruby, thank you so much. This game would not have been as close to it is now without your hard work. And so, while I am sad to see you guys move on to new pursuits and new shows to enjoy, and I will always fondly remember back to those days where we were a small budding family on Tumblr, and I knew all of you very closely as a follower. And it's just so cool to see these artistic styles of people that I kind of grew up with. Like, Ruby was like my first online fandom, you know, when I was like first starting out on Tumblr, and so like I came across all these people who are creating such beautiful artwork, and to see it finally coalesce into a game for the fandom itself to enjoy, that is one of the greatest accomplishments as a creator and a fan can think of. Thank you all so very much. And I think Monty would have loved this game. And I know wherever he is, he's proud of what you guys have done. Creation is like a spark. It's infectious, so small, but when it latches onto something, it can kindle a fire that will spread on and on and on. And so, when Monty created Ruby, he inspired an artist named Nancy. She drew beautiful Ruby fan art, and that inspired me to create my own fanfiction called The White Rose of Vermilion. And I have gotten comments from certain readers saying that after reading through the story, although it's still ongoing, they too have been inspired to continue to create something of their own. And I know, and I 100% fully know, that when people play through this game, there are going to be a few of them, some of them, there are going to be people who say, this game has inspired me. I now have the passion and the fire and the motivation to go out into the world and create something of my own. I know it. I know it in my heart. And I'm kind of rambling now because I don't want this video to end. It feels so sad. This great adventure finally coming to an end. And then epilogue when it kind of shifted away from Ruby's perspective where she said, yeah, Glinda wasn't a fan of that, to that line of her passing away, and then Penny living for centuries afterwards until fading into legend. That was such a powerful line. I love this game. I adore this game. One last time to the creators of this beautiful game, thank you so much for your hard work, your dedication, your passion, and your patience. And for anyone who may be watching this, I hope you too, at the end of this video, can understand that there is still more to your tale, that life is beautiful, and you have to keep moving forward. You have to keep moving forward. May this game continue to inspire countless others, long after I've played it, long after people who grew up in this fandom continue to move on to different fandoms, as they continue to grow older and lose certain memories of this fandom. Many years from now, I hope, when Ruby has ended or I've almost forgotten about it, I can think back on this game and look at my own videos of me playing it, and I know it'll bring back a great chapter of my life. Alright, and that marks the end of our first playthrough of Ruby Summer Rose Court. Thank you all so much for watching. It really means a lot to me. I don't plan on making this my first and last playthrough of this game. I really hope to play through this game a few more times to see if I can get different endings, and maybe even to romance a few different options in this game. As you know, as I do love Penny very much, and I love her the most, there are other characters who are written very well, and I love their designs. And I would love to see what would happen if I were to pursue them romantically. Seeing as how we're not done with this game just yet, I will see you all on the next episode of Ruby Summer Rose Court. And as always, until then.